So the question today is, how do you keep the faith? How do you stay encouraged during a time where there's so much lack, there's so much devastation? And on Wednesday night, this past week, May 13th, actually, 2020, Bishop Kevin taught a lesson, What You Need Is in the House. And I want to kind of piggyback on that message to answer that question in a few minutes with you. It's from 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 through 7. I'm not reading that text for you. You can go read that for yourself. But the text really talks about this woman who, the creditors, her husband had died, and she was a widow of a prophet. And the creditors had come to collect her sons because she owed people. Obviously the husband had died, and then there were debts to be paid that wasn't taken care of. And so but the message was, when she talked to the prophet asked her, what did she have in her house? The first thing she said was, I have nothing. So the first thing I want to encourage you to do in these times where there's so much lack and so much devastation is do not focus on what you don't have. Always remind yourself to think the glass is really half full. And so making sure that you focus on what you have rather than what you don't have. So thank God she moved on from that thought to except for a little oil. So the message centered around the fact that the oil was all she needed. And so what she needed was in the house. So my answer to your question today is that what you need is already in your possession. Whether it's an idea, whether it's a vision, whether it's a relationship, whether it's $10, a seed, whatever you need is already in your possession. God would not be God if He didn't provide for you what you need. Now, wants become another dimension. And I have to admit, I live with a lot of my wants satisfied too. So I'm not even saying that you can't have your wants, because I get my wants fulfilled. So God is there to make our joy full. He wants our joy to be full, not at the expense of destroying us with it, but at the expense of, as long as we can keep Him first, He can make our joy full. So the first thing to know is that what you need is already in your possession. If you can get that, wrap your head around that right now. How do you deal in a season where there's so much devastation, so much lack? Maybe you've lost a job. Maybe the main person that take care of the family has lost their job. Whatever. Maybe you lost your health. Maybe you lost a loved one in this craziness. Whatever the situation is, what you really need is still with you. And so just know that. The second thing is you have to obey the instructions. As a matter of fact, someone sent me a text message of a message that I had done from that text in 2010. And the title of it was A Woman Who Knows How to Recover. And so the key here is, if you're going to recover in this time, you have to follow the instructions. See, the prophet gave her some instructions to borrow vessels and to make sure that she poured out the oil and closed the door. There was specific instructions. So the thing we have to remember is, when God gives us an instruction, we have to make sure we follow that instruction. And your instruction may not look exactly like mine, and that's okay. So many times we get caught because we try to do what other people do, when God is trying to really bless us in a tremendous way. Do what God gave you to do. So how do we deal with a time of such lack and devastation? Number one, do not focus on what you don't have. Number two, know that what you need is already in your possession. And number three, and most of all, make sure that you trust God with your very life. Know that if God brought you to it, He's going to bring you through it. I have no anxiety or fear. Maybe I have anxiety. Let me not say that, because I probably do have some anxiety. But I don't have fear about catching the virus, dying from the virus, or any of that. Now, I'm super cautious because I'm a kind of a germophobic anyway. But that I can't see myself there. If it happens, hey, we'll cross that bridge when it happens. I'll see myself in that place. So I believe that God is taking care of me. The thing about a pandemic or the kind of situation we're in now, however, throughout Scripture, you see that sometimes the innocent also, those that are God's people, also get caught in it. So, but even when we get caught in it, it's for His purpose. He got a purpose that's bigger than us staying in the earth that He wants to fulfill. So be encouraged today. God is with us. We're winners. I mean, I read the end of this book. The Bible, I read the end of my book, my Bible. This is my notebook, but I read the end of this book. And I found out that we win. We win. There's no way to not win. Even when I think about those who are in heaven now, not so much through the pandemic, but those who are in heaven who had already gone on, like my late husband, my mother, my father, a sister, a brother, and other close people, I think, oh my God, you are died in the Lord, and you're not dealing with this mess. And I'm not suicidal, I'm not trying to die or nothing, but I'm just saying I believe the word that I preach. I believe that to be absent from this body is to be present with God. And that's what I'm living my life for, is to be present with God. I'm not living my life to stay here. I'm living my life to live in the future. We're going to live in eternity one way or the other. So I submit to you, get to know the one who really is the keeper. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.